we're curing 1,000 people's blindness. It's gonna be great.
So not only are we helping people here in America, but we're also going to other places around the world.
Because unfortunately, nearly half the population with curable blindness doesn't have access to this surgery. So I wanted to provide this to as many people as possible. For hundreds of thousands of kids in South Africa, the only thing standing between them and an education is a simple pair of shoes.
Hello everyone, and today we're talking about a very controversial topic, MrBeast. Currently he has 137 million subscribers, but he did come from humble beginnings, like saying Logan Paul 100,000 times. Now he's a millionaire worth roughly $100 million, according to Google at least. Now why am I talking about MrBeast today, and why is he controversial? Well, you might not believe me, but it's because he paid for 1,000 people to get LASIK eye surgery and gave 20,000 kids in South Africa shoes. If you think that sounds like an overall good thing, apparently you are wrong, according to Twitter, because he promoted attention culture, which is how he became famous in the first place. He was in some shady NFT dealings a couple of years back. And he's using his philanthropy for views. For the most part, it sounds like people are making up reasons to hate one of the largest YouTubers. There are some legitimate criticisms of MrBeast that I will go over, but mostly it gets drowned out by the ridiculousness of people on Twitter. Again! For starters, attention culture. This video titled "The Emperor Has No Clothes" from TikTok was swirling around on Twitter, talking about all the negatives of MrBeast. I'd just like to point out the irony of it all. This person is talking about attention culture and MrBeast, but they are also on TikTok, one of the worst apps for this sort of behavior, littered with TikTok trends and challenges that have actually taken the lives of young people. Although this TikToker isn't necessarily talking about that side of attention culture, but more setting aside your dignity to get views. I just believe there's a real discussion to have about the dangers of TikTok versus the dangers of a kid becoming MrBeast.
And this is the real problem. Because he's been so wildly successful, he's made it completely normal to sacrifice your dignity for attention. He found success by humiliating himself for views. And once his channel was getting enough views, the focus shifted to exploiting other people's desperation.
Most people get mad and say this is a bad way to get views. Tell them, like, you're okay with this. Are you okay with it?
Hell yeah.
That's right, YouTube.
Best day of my life right here.
Homeless people don't care if I use them for views.
Oh, the irony of remaking Squid Game.
The clip of MrBeast giving that homeless person money was a little bit awkward. One reason could be MrBeast is actually socially awkward. He said that in an interview. He's always been easy to talk to a camera, but not to real people. So I'm assuming this interaction was a little bit more difficult for him, especially because it was back in 2017. I mean, people seem to forget that MrBeast is a real person.
See the sign? Oh. And he did it!
It seemed like a win-win situation, but on Twitter apparently it was not. He was used for views, even though he consented to this being okay. But isn't it a little dehumanizing to just assume that this man cannot think for himself just because he is homeless? Almost as if he is a child they have to protect. I find that to be way more disrespectful than MrBeast giving him money and asking his consent to be filmed. And let's not forget, MrBeast hasn't only helped homeless people or people in poverty, he's helped random people as well.
It's an amazing example for people, and it's also it's for young people to realize that there is this path, and it's not just a path of moderate success, it's a path of massive success.
So, kids, you don't need an education or a skill or real relationships with real people. All you need to do is anything that will get you attention, and then continue leveraging that attention until you've built an empire.
Every content creator that has ever lived thrives off attention because that gets them views. So are we all morally bankrupt because we want to share something with the world and that would happen to also make money? I just find this whole point to be kind of a nothing burger. MrBeast just makes content that people want to see, and it reaches the broadest audience. And because it reaches the broadest audience, that means there's going to be more people, more eyes on him, more criticism, whether it's warranted or not. A good example would be what happened in October of last year. The one time he didn't give anybody money and people erupted in chaos.
We get groceries on the regular, so you can see through the line. What were you saying now? MrBeast is not coming today due to security issues.
Oh, Jesus. No, bring his ass back.
And I'm the one to get to tell y'all so.
It was absolute chaos because people found out MrBeast was supposed to be coming to the grocery store to pay for their groceries. So they overfilled their baskets with every food item you could think of. This just showed the amount of greed people have. MrBeast went there in order to help people, but didn't want anyone to find out, likely for this very reason. And the people who had to clean it up were the employees and volunteers. It's insane how everyone just left everything everywhere. It doesn't seem like anyone put anything back after they found out their groceries were not being paid for. A lot of people were jumping on MrBeast after this, thinking it is his fault. Somebody leaked this information. Obviously that was against what he wanted to do. It seems that day people tried to take advantage of MrBeast. Moving on to the next point, apparently MrBeast is bad because he's able to use his charity as a tax write-off. This to me seems a little bit over dramatic. Why would he pay more money in taxes if he is doing charitable work? He just saves more money to give more away. God forbid anyone save on their taxes because they're helping people. Now, according to this tweet from 2020, MrBeast is planning on making hundreds of homeless shelters and food banks and to give all his money away. That's my game plan, and if you don't believe me, just watch. I promise I'm dying with $0 in my bank account and I refuse to live a materialistic life. So far, he seems to be sticking by his word with Beast Philanthropy. But even after all the good he's done, apparently to some people, he's still considered to be the Antichrist. I don't believe using your money for good should be seen as a bad thing, and this whole point I think is ridiculous and kind of funny. It seems people are eating the wrong kind of mushrooms lately, and we continue to see people who have been eating the wrong type of mushrooms when they accused MrBeast of child labor for nicely asking people if they see his Feastables displays messed up to fix them for him. And to all the people who think this might be child labor, it is not. Not to mention most of the replies I seen were adults who went to Walmart to fix MrBeast displays. Now the next topic. The only thing I can really see to criticize MrBeast about is this video I'm about to show you.
I know you're big into crypto.
Yeah, crypto's been killing it, man. At Gary Vee, it's like 11 p.m. just out of nowhere, just calls me and he's like, yo, I got like 30 people to call, hop in. I'm like, I don't care. He's like, it'll be the best decision of your life. Just get in. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And so I just joined the call. Very successful people in this call. And Gary's just like, everyone shut the up. Here's what you're going to do, and you're going to do it right now. You're all going to buy a bunch of CryptoPunks. We're all just like, are you sure, Gary? And we're asking questions, and he's like, just buy it. I was just so pulled by his like conviction that I bought a bunch.
Can I ask you guys a question? When Gary does that call with all these billionaires, and 8 months or a year later, everybody's like, Gary was right again.
Yeah.
Is it possible that he's right because of the call?
That is absolutely right, Mike Malak. This Gary Vee person is actually artificially inflating the market for NFTs and crypto.
I believe in this project. These JPEG files are paving the way for the future.
To kind of summarize what this means, Gary is manipulating the market by getting all these big influencers together who have money to buy and sell whatever he wants them to, which is market manipulation. If it was stocks, it could mean jail time. From what I understood from what MrBeast was saying is he just listened to this guy blindly because it would make him money. Because, well, Gary was manipulating the market, so of course he was going to get money back. And MrBeast made a bad move with associating with Logan Paul in any financial way, especially because this was after the rug pull of Dink Doink. I have to say, even though this is an objectively bad thing, we don't know for sure if MrBeast understands what he did, and it wouldn't really feel right to go after him specifically when there were so many other people in the call. On top of all that, it doesn't take away all the good he's done. Now to talk about the thing that made me decide to make this video. The backlash after MrBeast gave 20,000 kids shoes. After seeing all the back and forth in the comments, I decided to make my own. People really suck. Let him help the 20,000 kids. I bet if MrBeast did help South Africa get out of poverty, with this person's logic, someone would have something negative to say, like, why didn't you help the whole world? What made me decide to make this tweet was this comment thread. This will literally do nothing to help South African people. Kids get shoes, then what? How does this in any way alleviate the massive poverty issues in South Africa? This is just throwing money at a problem that will do nothing in the long run at all. I was and still am pretty disgusted with this logic, as if helping those 20,000 kids was pointless. Who cares about their lives? It doesn't help the overall economy of this whole entire country. After making my initial tweet about this, it suddenly blew up, and I was getting a ton of comments, a lot of them that were disagreeing with me. To be honest, I was bewildered by it all. There was one person who posted an entire thread in my comment section explaining why MrBeast is actually terrible for donating these 20,000 shoes. They start off by saying, donating these shoes is actually hurting local economies. And they sent me the Adam Ruins Everything clip explaining the buy one, give one marketing ploy. And it would make sense why this would hurt the economy because it's hurting the local shoe businesses at little extra cost to the American company or otherwise. But this is something different entirely and has nothing to do with MrBeast or what he did. He funded a local charity called Barefoot No More. I ended up doing a lot of research on this charity. Their shoes are made specifically for the conditions these children walk in every day. And since there is a local charity to help kids get to school without being barefoot, it's obviously an issue bigger than the shoe market. Another point brought up by this Twitter user is MrBeast is apparently a white savior. This is inherently racist, and I feel it helps no one. Attempting to gatekeep people from helping others is counterintuitive. No one can help where they're born or the color of their skin. So I think maybe we should stop putting boundaries on people that don't need to be there. What I've gathered from all this is that people on Twitter want to be morally righteous. So it doesn't matter if they have the facts right, as long as they sound morally correct. And I believe MrBeast genuinely wants to help people. He started out as this underdog YouTuber doing silly things like saying Logan Paul 100,000 times. Then he started to help the homeless by giving them money, and the internet had to start policing everything he's done ever since. Even if somehow his charity is mutually beneficial, it does not take away the fact that he is helping people. Just going back to the people he helped pay for their eye surgery. Don't they have a better quality of life now they can actually see? Aren't those kids in South Africa individually going to have a better time going to school now that they have shoes? MrBeast isn't trying to save the world. He's helping one individual at a time. And it sucks that we live in a society where a YouTuber has to go around helping people because society is not. Complaining on Twitter about it isn't actually going to help anything. The only thing we can do as individuals is do one good deed at a time. But that is it for the video. As always, please let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you're new, feel free to subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye!
PewDiePie, 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 PewDiePie!